Hello there, welcome to Heart Explained Therapy, where we're going to analyse the psychological problem that people are having now with privacy on their phones or laptops or even in their own home now. Now, I think at the moment we've got to remember we're in a very strange psychological state. Everyone is around the world. We've been hit with a pandemic that we've never experienced before. It's triggered a lot of different fears. It's triggered a lot of problems, a lot of changes, and we're at a very high state of alert. Fight or flight mode is kicked in at this point, right? For everybody. I don't care if you're saying that you're fearless. You would have had some changes from your normal routine, and you'd be at this state of sort of psyche warfare. You'll be switched on. So it's very easy for simple stuff, Black Lives Matter, COVID stories, any sort of wrongful or annoying things that would happen. And at the moment, I think because we're so sucked into a sort of artificial intelligence sort of platform in everything. You've got cameras now that can answer the door and say hello to Bob the Amazon man and tell him to leave the parcel there. Very strange because they just leave it anyway without pressing the buzzer, but we've got this sort of connection with artificial intelligence that part of us knows is very actually self-destructive in a way. We spend a lot of time on it. We have to for business reasons, for personal reasons, and the old day when you took photographs and you had them in a photo album under the sofa and you'd pull it out every now and again for just you to look at it, it now goes to an iCloud, an invisible database, and we're worried that private companies have got access to all this, and basically can they see Auntie Barbara when she goes to Tenerife and sunbathes on that stupid inflatable island that she always takes with a margarita. Margarita isn't a sister. The problem is, what's the psychological process that's going on with this privacy issue? Let's not take away the technology. The technology can be broken down quite easily for me. If you have any reasons to suspect that you shouldn't message on WhatsApp, or you shouldn't take a picture and send it to someone, or if you've got, and I'm not talking about the fear that you're a terrorist or the fear that you're doing something wrong, just privacy, basic privacy. Should anybody have access to your stuff via the track and trace system, via WhatsApp, via an app that you download? And what you've got to understand is, no matter what you do with your mobile phone, it still has no privacy. It's that intelligent and that connected to these mega corporations that if you say, would you like to go on a booze cruise, some algorithm picks this up and starts sending you your local sort of booze busters and cheap alcohol, all 17 different cruise travel packs, right? Now remember, there's two perspectives from this. It's horrible, it's scary. Who's listening to me? Is it the fridge? I only said that when I opened the fridge door. Have they got a little device? And your mind can go into this paranoia. The fridge knows I want to go on a cruise. Now, I'm using humour to try and keep people gripped because, to be fair, it just balls the pants off me that you're scared that much. Now recently you've had possibly messages to go to a different platform, like there's a new app there that's not got these strict settings that WhatsApp have got. What I would suggest, if you think that your privacy is at risk, don't change apps, don't change messages, give up your phone. It's that simple. Have a phone for work businesses only, for Google reasons only, for entertainment, and don't take any pictures. Go back to the old school. Lots of very brilliant cameras out there now. Don't upload them to any iCloud memory storage places, because you know that we kissed goodbye to privacy with these big companies like Apple and Google and even Amazon, and they're all just branching out into every sort of place where it's dictating life. And some people are now becoming a little bit more consciously aware and trying to say, no, I've looked into these rules and we shouldn't do this. Isn't it strange that it's happened during a pandemic? It's your psychology. You are on high alert to all dangers, and this is another one that you can make into a thing. Now, I'm not saying it's not a thing. What I'm saying is the answer isn't changing apps. It's not about, you've got to get rid of your phone. Go back and buy one of those ones that were brilliant in the 98, the old Motorola and the old Nokia. You know, you couldn't do anything on those. And get one of those, and I don't believe anybody will ever try and hack that picture of Auntie Barbara on a Nokia. They wouldn't even have the technology. They'd have to go back to a massive storage unit with a computer capable of hacking one of those things. They're not going to go backwards, they're too advanced now. But remember the psychological problems that you're having right now. You see, you attach to something negative and fearful for a reason. It's human instinct, and this is all that's going on. So that concern about privacy that you back up with valid information is actually you being scared. You're actually petrified, and I'm not saying you're petrified because you've done anything wrong. You haven't got downloaded illegal images. I mean, there's certain people out there and they're currently burning their phone thinking that's going to help, even though they've already sent the images to an iCloud, so they're already buggered. So don't worry about that. Now, you're just scared. So ask yourself, why are you so scared? And you'll see that you're probably unhappy with the World Wide Web that you're entangled with. So then you've got to turn the microscope onto that, because it's not the privacy, because otherwise you'd get rid of the phone, but you can't get rid of the phone. You can't get rid of it for a day. And you can say all these excuses why you need it. Business reasons, family reasons. Aunt June wouldn't be able to call me on FaceTime. Only got FaceTime now because of COVID. Only at high alert now to FaceTime somebody. And what does a phone really do? What does a laptop really do? Now, it connects you to the worldwide database of information, but it doesn't connect you to a normal interaction, a conversation. So what happens is you get lost into a computer sort of information world, right? Which isn't really real. It's just words and images and just everything that's like sort of simulating you at a base level. And because you've lost this feeling of true interaction, true feelings, how a conversation can make you truly feel, you don't even know that this privacy problem you've got is fear anymore. It's unconscious fear. You are petrified and lost in the conspiracy theories. Now, remember, everything is orchestrated from a hierarchy system. Everything. You have never been out of the hierarchy system. You have probably grown or passed a few levels of hierarchy in your life if you're lucky, but you've never really got out of the hierarchy system, because it takes an awful lot of wealth. It takes you getting into the top 100 millionaire, billionaire in the world to really view the world from that perspective. So this hierarchy is running the planet with its big corporations, and it's feeding you stories, stories to keep you distracted. And one of those stories would be that you have to be more private because it would trigger your fear. Now, a hierarchy system, let's take a dog with sheep, right? A sheepdog, as they call it in some places. I don't know why they call it that. It seems very technical just for a dog that chases sheep, but they call it a sheepdog. Now, the sheep don't go into the gates because they love the dog. It's not unconditional love. They go into the gates and where they have to go because they are actually petrified. This dog is running around, yapping its head off, doing this horrible little crawl on the ground, and the sheep are absolutely petrified. It's the way a hierarchy system gets people to move, and the current bit of psychology warfare that they have triggered is privacy. So now I've explained that, you might not believe that you're that scared, but you are. You're petrified. You're so scared you're close to breaking down and crying. And you'll be able to tell this because certain needs won't be met in your life. Certain emotional needs just won't be right. And you won't understand why, but there'll just be this void, this insignificance that you're feeling under the surface, and you're probably projecting it into relationship, sort of family issues, work issues. You're probably projecting it all outside and not introspecting, which is what you unfortunately need to do. The 3-step procedure through egoic mind, through the spirit mind, to get the intellectual mind to see how many concepts of fear there actually is. Now, if you can take on board that this could be a possible reality, which I very much doubt because you'll be unconsciously in fear mode, and you'll block this out and you would have turned it off by now because you just won't believe it. You'll think that I'm in a place where I don't understand reality. I understand that they are going to look at your pictures and investigate you, and they can hear everything you say, and the camera is in that lampshade and in that fridge. I understand that could be a reality, but the only really thing that you can do is become either the one of the richest men on the planet, which is very unlikely, or not have any mental health fearful problems that develop because you're so consumed in an artificial intelligent information world, which happens to be a big brother sort of state. But how is there a saviour for this? Either way, is there a saving grace if you can't do the process I've just spoke about? Now, it's to let go of all those illusions. It's to let go of everything being as real as you pretend it is. Now, remember, if you have done something technically wrong, or you contain information that is illegal, you have every right to be in this fearful state. But if you haven't, and the only reason you say is just because it just gives me something, it just makes me feel like I'm in control, then accept that you are completely mad. It's that simple. You have got lost in the world of you meaning something, everything else meaning something, and you are lost in the abyss of mental health and mental disorders and mental conditioning, and you're actually being tricked by the hypnotised information they want you to be tricked by. So how can you stay out of this? How can you see beyond this? Well, like I said, break through the egoic mind of fear. The spiritual feeling will come on, which is just love and condition, and you will give up your phone and every electronic device, and you'll just get a pile of books and live in a tent. But if you also manage to get past that mad stage of religious spirituality and love and oneness, you can then go into the intellectual mind, which is fortunately exactly what the world is, which is just a creative portal of all plausible possibilities. And it sounds like that place would be insane, but it's the only place that's actually sane, because you can see all the veils of untruths out there. And what does this do? Well, it just makes you not be scared anymore. Because how can you be scared if you're the portal of plausible possibilities? You just can't be. So don't worry about privacy. Don't worry about conspiracy theories. Don't get lost in your own fear. Okay? Be fearless. Fearless without the ideology, without the dogma, without the religion, without it meaning anything. Just let it all go.